the first Avatar?
Yeah,
Like the cartoon
the
back in the
cartoon
day?
one.
Oh, hell yeah, I
You
did.
did. See, I watched that. It was like a couple years back, and then this one, the live action one, was like all over Netflix. I was curious if you had seen it or not, because then I got to thinking for like a question, like if you could actually control like a different element, like which one would you pick?
Which Avatar element are you?
Yeah, that kind
Yeah.
of that kind
Okay.
of quiz.
What are you? What are you? What were you gonna say?
I know which one I would want to be. I don't know if I would take like the quiz. Like when I took the Harry Potter quiz, everyone's hoping on Gryffindor, and then I turned Hufflepuff. But if I was to be able to choose which element I could do, I'd definitely have to go the wind or air,
Oh yeah.
whatever that is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Why
just
air?
because I'd want to fly. That's like if I could do a superpower, I'd definitely want to be able to fly over anything else. Just like, oh, see you later.
So
take off.
why is flying your jam?
I don't know. They're my favorite dreams. They're my like.
Sure.
You ever had those lucid dreams? You can kind of control them. My all-time favorite dreams, or if I have a reoccurring one, will be the ones in which I can fly, and they're my absolute favorite.
Okay.
So yeah, that's definitely would be flight
All right. Okay.
or wind or whatever that.
Yeah, yeah,
Well, like
the
what do you
air-
control?
you're
Like,
airbender.
air? You're an air. Yeah,
Yeah,
airbender.
yeah.
Duh.
You're an airbender. I don't know. Whenever I took the test, of course I did. I mean, there's multiple tests of which bender are you. I
All
think
on
I
BuzzFeed.
think I think when I took it, I was Earth, I believe. So that was what I was.
What's that say about your personality?
I was stoic. No,
Yeah, I was like, right.
I'm not stoic though. No, I think like well, and Virgo is an Earth is associated with Earth element.
Oh,
I believe Scorpio's
water.
Yeah.
Scorpio's water.
And so I was like, that checks out. And then I'm like, you know what? I do like Earth. I do like Earth as a bending element. So I would
it would be
go
cool.
Earthbender.
Oh yeah, I'd pick up a big ass boulder, fucking hug
Yeah,
that around or something like that.
Oh man, Toph is great. Hello, welcome to the Average Bros Gym podcast, for your fitness hosts with eerily similar names, Croy and Kory. Sit you down and talk about life advice with no polarizing takes. I'm not reading from the script, you can tell. And yeah, we just genuine advice and good conversation. And we're talking about Avatar. So yeah, and we're talking about which bender you are going to be.
Do you remember that though? Like all elementary,
that,
middle
yeah.
school, I would get caught up or if you have like your laptop open. So let's be honest, also like in college where you just get caught on some like random,
Definitely did not have my laptop open.
like
for sure.
like BuzzFeed quizzes
My
or something.
Tamagotchi open in elementary school.
Wait, you're what?
Tamagotchi.
What's that?
Remember those things?
You're
They were like little egg shaped, like kind of almost like it was like a little game in like a little egg compartment.
I don't know.
And it was like you could like shake the Tamagotchi to walk it or something like that, and like it could die.
Oh, I know what
was
you're
terrifying.
talking about. Never got into it. I know what you were
It was like a
referring to now.
pet simulator, but it was kind of like a sad pet simulator. But we had those back in elementary school, I think, in like the early mid '90s.
Oh my god, yeah. Those I do remember now. Never actually played with one though.
No, no, they were dope. I remember I played with them a little bit. But you were saying something about laptops in college.
Oh, well, we were talking about like the Avatar thing, and like having like quizzes in which you could figure out like, well, what's your spirit animal? What if you were an airbender or earthbender or firebender? If you had, what would be your Patronus? Like how you can just get caught into those like. Every person has done it at one point or time or another where they just like pissed away a good like, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes on just like taking like random little quizzes or playing stupid little games. Or do you remember what was the there was like a site you could go to where you just have like all the random little games you could play. You remember just like little games like
Yeah,
that?
well, there
like
was
Rainbow Unicorn Attack. Like I remember playing that shit. Like,
there was for a while. So like if you're talking about like the shit that like you shouldn't have been playing as a
Yes.
kid, it was Newgrounds.com because that was like the like blow up the country game, or like it was that kind of dumb flash games. But they also had like the one that was kind of more like PG was coffeebreakarcade.com. And I played a lot of like wiffle ball. This was like the precursor to like backyard baseball. It was like wiffle.
Yeah.
It was like wiffle ball or whatever on like coffeebreakarcade.com. It was just all flash games on like HTML.
Yep. Yeah.
You're just playing on a website, but it was really fun.
Or like now I remember it. It was addicting games. Like .com, addictinggames.com, and then you could choose out of the category like do you want to do like a puzzle or an accent or a shooter or a sport or whatever, and then you would just pop on play like random little.
This was the good old days before we had smartphones, and we wasted our time in more productive ways, goddammit. With flash games. I miss those days.
Oh god.
No, but I remember playing those. But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a there's an urgent outside of all of us. I'm gonna make it like too deep probably, but I feel like when we're trying, I'm gonna go there.
Go there.
When we're trying to when we take those quizzes and things like that too, it's because we like generally like the IP, like we really appreciate the property, like the intellectual property. Like, oh, I love Avatar, so I'm gonna find out what Airbender I am, or like I'm going to or Bender rather, or like I love Harry Potter, so I'm gonna find out like what house I'm in. Like I want to like you kind of associate yourself with that. I think a lot of it is just like our human desire to like belong.
Yeah, it's like that tribalism in a way. Yeah,
to something. So it's like I want to like rep Hufflepuff, or like it's the same thing with like teams, right? Like I want to rep the Vikings, or I want to rep the Twins, or
certain brands too. Like not you're an Adidas athlete, you're a Nike athlete or something.
Yes, I'm wearing Nike, Lulu, and some random Instagram sock brand, and a Carhartt.
I was gonna say I saw these when I first walked in. Those are kind of cool.
They're a little bit. I don't know. I might have sized up a little bit. They're a little bit like kind of hit my toes a little bit, but. They're not bad, but they're probably too expensive. I think they're probably like $11 for like a pair. Which
they're actually kind of sick though. They almost look like little slippers or something.
I will say, because they're the no-show socks. Because you gotta wear them with Vans. Yeah, I mean,
naturally. You have been up in your Van game though. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Thanks. I got a really pale green pair for St. Patrick's Day, but I also might just rock the Chelsea boot because it is St. Patrick's Day and I want to look very Irish. So I'll have my newsboy cap and my and.
That's a look you can definitely pull off though.
Give me the thickest woolen sweater you can find, and I'm in my Irish phase.
That's your phase,
right? Irish phase. I'm always in my Irish phase. I should be having a green mug right now. I love St. Patrick's Day. So we're recording this right now on the 10th. So we're actually 1 week away from St. Patrick's Day currently. So, oh man, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like St. Patty's Day, it's never been one that's really gotten my jollies going, I've just been like, oh, all right.
Like an Irish thing to say.
I know, that's why I threw it in there, but I'm like,
oh,
okay, a bunch of four-leaf clovers. Never fucking found one. Have you ever found one?
Real class. No, that's why it's lucky, Kory. You can't find them. They're difficult to find, so that's why they're so challenging.
Or do you even know anybody that's found one? Because I don't know anybody.
I'd like to think I found one like when I was a kid, but who knows? That could have been like some like folklore I was just thinking of. I don't know, fucking know. But no, I mean like I think like the legend at least was that they made the 3-leaf clover as a symbol of Ireland because Saint Patrick, who wasn't Irish by the way, so we all know. Why Saint Patrick like was the legend goes now if he did this or not, probably not. But he did. He taught the pagan Irish about the Holy Trinity using the 3-leaf clovers: the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit.
Oh, okay.
That was how he taught them. I don't believe that actually happened, but who knows? There's a fun episode, and I'm gonna link it. I'm gonna link it in the show notes of the We're Not Fucking Historians podcast. So that podcast, it ran for a little bit. It wasn't a long one, but it was 2 Irish authors and kind of like one's a comedian, and they did like a bunch of like Irish kind of history, but it was kind of like a off the cuff Irish history. Like they kind of fucked up a couple things, but it was like kind of like the point of it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But like their first episode was like on the real history of St. Patrick. So I'll link that in the show notes. But that's pretty funny.
Yeah, see, that's like, again, never been one that I've known the lore to or anything. And that, I don't know, the only other thing that I associate with like St. Patrick's Day, the first thing that almost popped in my mind was that like scary movie with the leprechaun. Leprechaun, which I also just like never saw. But yeah, it was just like, all right, we're just gonna eat a bunch of things that are now like dyed green. I'm like, all right.
Horrifying movie. I watched that when I was young, and I had nightmares. That's a horrifying movie, Leprechaun. Dude, they had like a bunch of different. Fun fact: Jennifer Aniston actually in that very first movie.
Really?
Yeah, she was in the Leprechaun, like the very first Leprechaun. I think it was like '93.
That's young.
It was like very, very early Aniston. I think it was like maybe right before
Friends. Yeah, that's I feel like the thing that really like popped her off.
Yeah.
But yeah, whether or not that coincided.
It might have been like maybe the first couple seasons of Friends or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, so still early on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the equivalent of like Matt Damon when all of a sudden like he was in Good Will Hunting, but he had done Saving Private Ryan right beforehand. You're like, oh, I know you now in something. Like Aniston, kind of that same area in her career. It was
interesting. I think Hunting was before Ryan though, wasn't it?
No, Saving Private Ryan was right before Good Will Hunting.
Was it really?
Yeah. So
why does Good Will Hunting feel like an early '90s movie? Was it
I
late
think it
'90s?
is. I think it
Well,
is.
Ryan was like '98.
Is that what it is? I don't know. I know it's like 90s now. I mean, shit, it's getting to be like those are like old movies now. But I'm almost positive because the director, I believe, of Good Will Hunting wanted to get a character in that role for Will Hunting that kind of wasn't known. And he had initially had his eyes on Matt Damon, but then coincidentally, like, whatever it was, maybe several months or just like the year prior, Saving Private Ryan.
Good Will Hunting was '97.
Oh, let's see. I'm getting fact checked here, boys and gals.
Ryan was '98, but that doesn't mean
Okay.
they could have been filmed. I don't know when they were filmed because, like, just because a movie's filmed, or
That's a good
coming
point.
out
It can
one
be
time.
released.
So
Yeah.
either way, it was right around the same time they were filming this. So
Okay, so maybe I'm right about that, or wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
Either way,
or some blend of both. So either way, great films. Go watch both of those.
Saving Private Ryan, Good Will Hunting. Yes, I don't know. You said Leprechaun, same tier.
Leprechaun, easy S tier. S tier. Dude, Leprechaun, no, 'cause that movie terrified the hell to me because, like, I mean, and so there's a lot of sequels to it. Like, it was such like a kind of cult movie, I think.
Is it like a B level
Oh
movie?
yeah,
It's a
And-
B level
yeah,
movie, right?
100%.
Okay.
And then, but it was, it had like, these movies have like cult success, and so
Yeah.
they just kind of keep developing sequels. And the sequels aren't like, probably spend less money developing all these sequels, or less. Every single movie is less
Go pitch
production.
Leprechaun 2 at the table.
Bro, there's Leprechaun in Space, Leprechaun in the Hood, which is probably full of appropriation and really bad stereotypes, but it's there. I never saw that one. And then there's like Leprechaun in the Hood. Yeah, it's a fucking real movie. Let's actually. We should do a watch party. That's probably very problematic, to be honest. Leprechaun in the Hood. That is 2000. Wow, that's not that long ago.
Such a ridiculous name. What's the Rotten Tomato score?
33%. Yeah. Let me read the first. Okay. When aspiring hip hop performers Butch, Postmaster P, and Stray Bullet cross record producer, so like they're crossing him, right? Mac Daddy,
okay.
played by Ice-T. Their grudge against him leads to their own pail. Oh wow. After they break into Mac Daddy's home and swipe an ancient medallion from a grotesque statue, the evil leprechaun, played by Warwick Davis, is freed from his magical prison. Soon the sinister little man is on the trail of Butch, Postmaster P, and Stray Bullet, along with Mac Daddy himself.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. The tagline is "Evil's in the house."
Do they have a poster?
Yeah, they do.
do they have a poster? Oh my god. That's fucking hilarious. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
So I'm
Warwick.
not saying that we should all go and watch this film, but no, he's in a lot of different stuff.
Well, I was going to say Warwick Davis. Well, iconic also for Harry Potter. Naturally.
Flitwick, right?
Yes, maybe. Is that it? Is he Flitwick?
Oh God.
I think you might be right. He might be. Yeah, I think he's Flitwick. I think you're right. Harry Potter movies. He's Wait, Flitwick's the professor though.
Yeah, Charms Professor.
No, this dude. No, did you look at his? He's got a. Is this dude Warwick Davis? I think he's like more of the mean guy. He's like. Remember when it's he's letting the big white dragon out in the Harry Potter movie?
Oh,
He's that guy, the one who crosses him
I
at
see.
the end in the later films. No, Flitwick's a different dude entirely. Now, if I get my
Wait,
Harry Potter,
Wait,
unless he played multiple
he might have
roles.
played both.
Oh, really? So now it's like
Yeah, I
Eddie
guess
Murphy.
makeup can do a lot.
I was gonna say, well, that, and I guess, yeah, and then what are some of those other iconic movies where you get like one actor that plays multiple roles, like what is like
Nutty Professor.
Nutty Professor? Yeah, Eddie Murphy plays like every single one, or
And all of Tyler Perry's movies.
oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh, those are funny though too. Those are funny.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen a single Tyler Perry movie.
No, same. No, I can't say that I have. At least I don't think so. Anyways, I'm not that overly familiar with his.
It's it's all kind of like satire almost.
It's funny that you were talking about like B-rated movies because I just had a nightmare about a B-rated movie last night, Anaconda. I just all of a sudden my brain last night decided to just feel like I was getting hunted by a 50-foot long
Cube.
fucking snake. Yep.
Jennifer Lopez.
Yes.
What's his face?
You're talking about.
John. Oh God,
Are you talking the main
he's
captain
related
guy?
to Angelina Jolie. It's like her
Yeah.
dad or something,
Yeah. Yes.
or like
I think you're
part of
right.
her family.
Yep. He was the
John
dude
something.
in Dude in Holes.
Was that? I never saw that
Wasn't he?
movie.
Oh, you never saw that one? Oh,
I read the book.
okay. Well, yeah, he was that
The
guy.
book.
I know he's been in some other shit. Owen Wilson.
He's in. Oh yeah, you're right. He's
Yeah.
one of
Owen
them.
Wilson gets taken down like immediately.
Spoiler alert, bro. Oh my God.
No, I mean Anaconda from whatever it was, like 97.
18-year-old. Yeah, Anaconda. That I remember watching that. I think like like growing up, I had a lot of those like kind of like monster movies almost in like the 90s. Like we had I saw Jaws, which I'm still honestly I still get freaked out in water, like in bodies of water. I like that's I hate that for myself.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I'd love
it.
not, but
You just feel so out of your element out there. Oh God.
I every summer, if you're not from the Minneapolis area, there's a lot of lakes, a lot of water, right? I always like rent out a like paddle board and just kind of like paddle out to like the middle of like Lake Erie or something like that. And I like jumping in the water, like out in the middle of the lake, because it's just like there's
Why not?
cool and yeah, it's super nice, especially because like the sun's beating down when you're on the paddle board, you're getting kind of warm. But yeah, every time I get in there, I'm like, fuck, gotta get out. Like
Immediately regret this
yeah,
decision.
but it's like it's not that like it's nothing's out there. Like there's no fucking great white sharks out there, but just like there's that like fear still in my head. I'm 32 years old and it's still just hitting me a little
I
bit.
just feel like it's an innate thing. Like
Yeah.
you know you're again out of your element. You're sitting there just fucking
Sure.
bobbing above the water. So like you're at the surface of the water. Everything else can see your ass up there. Just like you're just live fresh
And
bait.
you're I mean like and you're not adapted to your surroundings. Rose.
No.
A lot of creatures have either detect prey, and this. I know this is not happening in the lake. Okay, I'm not like, oh, we gotta watch out for these. I know
Some
this is not
sturgeon or
happening.
catfish is down there. Like, oh, I got you.
I think
bitch.
the biggest fish in Harriet's probably like maybe like maybe like a northern pike or something like that. Even then, probably even not. I don't even know what's going to be in there. Like perches.
Some person that's like a really big fisherman right now is losing their shit.
Yeah,
There's no pike in Harriet.
I think there. I think there is, and people have found muskies in those.
Those
lakes,
fuckers
but,
can get big.
but that's like few and far between because muskie fishing is also notoriously difficult.
Oh,
Notoriously difficult. Like,
that shit's nuts.
yeah. So like
River monsters.
one of my favorite TV shows, Jeremy Wade.
Oh my god, we just hit that.
River. I'm Jeremy Wade.
He's
Love.
wearing a holy shirt for some
Oh
reason.
God, the sun just beating through.
Yeah.
I know. So Jeremy Wade, if you haven't seen this, look up River Monster, especially if you like biology or fish or water or whatever.
Or just good like nature and like to
British
gain some like
people.
knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a fascinating show.
Great show, but yeah. So there's an episode I think of one of his. It could have been. It's like River Monsters. I think it's one of the later seasons where he's like doing like muskie fishing, and he's out there for like a week. He's like,
Yeah.
I did not catch anything until like the last day. And even then, I don't even know if he did it. I can't remember exactly, but it was like, yeah, you were out there for like cast, and you're out there for just hours and days without finding anything.
Such a game of patience.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. But there's anyway, so anyways, the biggest thing in Harriet, it's probably like what, or any lake in the area is going to be like a pike maybe.
Yeah.
For the most part, and like those aren't going to also attack you.
But
so.
even some of those like freshwater fish, I mean, are absolutely nuts for that. Like that show in particular. I think they actually stopped the show because there was some report, if I remember seeing, who knows, maybe it was just clickbait, but that he had already captured like all the biggest fish in and around the world. Like there wasn't anything else to like really go after.
Yeah,
which is
like
kind of fascinating.
6, 7 seasons.
Yeah,
8
I mean,
seasons, whatever. It's
traveling
been
all
years
around
and
the
years,
world,
yeah.
and only going for like top tier fish too. Like you're not going
Yeah.
for anything that's going to be like, I don't know, smaller than us, which is just nuts to think about like that.
Well, the one, and like for people that are watching on like YouTube, I'll probably throw like a photo of it on this because like the one that really started everything was the Goliath tigerfish.
Yeah.
This is a fish that's native to Africa. And I think Congo River.
Yes.
I could be
Yes.
real
No. You're right on
serious.
that.
Okay.
Yep. That one I can check you on.
Yeah.
That one's for sure.
That's like-
You're
okay.
right on that one. I
There's
know
this-
what you're talking about
this
now.
massive fish, and there's this very famous photo of Jeremy Wade holding this fish in the water, and the fish did eventually die. A lot of times you're trying to reel it in something like this. It's like it's tires itself out or like hits rocks or whatever.
That's what happened to that one.
And so he has this massive fish in his arms in the water, and it's like it's the size of a fucking like a kind of dog, like a Pyrenees. Like it's huge. It's like 100, whatever. It's just massive fish, but it has these rows of razor sharp teeth. It looks like something out of a monster movie.
It's straight up like the Tyrannosaurus Rex in Jurassic Park. They look like fucking steak knives. Like they are huge teeth, like coming from this fish in the water, which is just terrifying to look at. That just knowing you could be in the water with just all those. Dude, I don't want to fuck with like the Conga or Amazon. You could have anacondas down there. You got fish like that in there
Well,
too.
the water
like,
is so dark. It's like you can't see anything, and all these predators don't rely on sight. The tigerfish, there is a smaller variant just called the tigerfish, and even that one it looks terrifying. And this one's
it's basically like a piranha on steroids.
right, and this is the Goliath tigerfish. But yeah, so take a look at that. We'll put it up in the video as well. But it's it's crazy. So that's kind of like I think that was like the first season.
And that kind of spurred it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, so he's done a lot of cool things. But anyways, I don't know where we were trying to go with the podcast, but I really enjoy fishing shows.
Well, speaking of fish, did you see that clip the other day? Did you see the clip the other?
We're like every woman on like Bumble or Tinder's like worst nightmare right now. Like speaking of fish,
That is, it's like either that or you have like the deer hunting photo of fish pics.
Deer pics.
Not that I would say neither of us. We're probably like the furthest removed actually from that.
I don't area. Have any. I do like fishing, but I don't have any fish pictures.
Like I couldn't tell you the last time that I went fishing. Like I've enjoyed it the times that I've gone, but I've never. Yeah. That's never been my thing.
I like fishing off of just like a
fucking
rock.
You're the bobber in. Just throw the bobber out there. We'll see if it dumps under.
I like fishing. Literally off a dock. Like I remember in Canada, just like I just got like a beer next to me and just a rod and just fishing and drinking beer and I'm like, God, that is like the most like. I don't know. I definitely am guilty of doing that.
Well, you can definitely see the appeal behind those types of activities, and I think a lot of that for most activities that I would imagine that people get into comes from, this is what my family does. We're, a big family of hunters or, fishermen, whatever it is. Yeah. My family was never really that case.
Sport fishing is a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
But really love the aspect of just like leisure fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just because you turn off everything and it's like, you have time to kind of like listen to whatever is going on around you. It's really nice.
Yeah. Like yacht rock.
No, not even like music. I mean, like just like the sound of nature, the sound of the wind or something. Sound of music, sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just listing movies that I was.
That was a good pun.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks.
No, yeah, I've never really quite gotten into that myself, but again, understanding the appeal behind it, where it's very, I can imagine that it's almost very meditative in a way. 100%. Just people get to relax, almost detox from the world. I mean, so many of us are now just like caught up behind screens and TV, and you're on your phone, and you got, if you're a mom or dad, you're running around to X, Y, or Z sport, dropping your kid off, picking them up, and then just getting a little bit of time to chill and relax and just kind of settle in and be very present, I feel is what more often than not those activities are conducive for. And that's where I can kind of understand it. And let alone the actual act of reeling in a fish is incredibly exciting, I would imagine. Same thing as to, shooting a deer or whatever that it is. But
so fucking fun.
I mean, I don't know if have you ever shot? I've never shot a deer.
No, I've never. And like, here's the thing. I've always been, I think, as far as like hunting goes, like I've always been someone who's like, you know what, like as long as you are like, I never liked the idea of like trophy hunting, and I think that
that I don't get down with.
And there's been a lot of people that like, people that pay to like go on these like excursions, where it's like they're guided the entire time, and then like their guide, it's tough. Their guide like gives them the gun and like, hey, shoot this like massive rhino or like whatever. Like I hate that shit. That is, those people suck, and it's tough because a lot of those people that like are guides, like kind of they depend on that income for their livelihood.
Oh yeah.
But I really wish that wasn't a business. I really wish that was not a way to sustain yourself economically, because like those people that like go and kill these like not endangered, I guess maybe.
Well, I mean, in some cases, because you're obviously not going to be able to hunt an endangered.
But yeah, like but if you are actually like tracking the thing, and you're actually like waiting in the blind, you're actually like doing these things, and you're using the animal like a deer or a pheasant or whatever. You're using the meat, or using whatever you hunt, and there's lots of like really like. That's fine. Obviously, like I mean, not that you need my permission, but like that's I definitely can understand that a lot more, and that's something that I'd be interested in doing, I mean, especially if I was like using different parts of the animal for different things, right? But trophy hunting, that's a no
Yeah,
for me.
and I think a lot of it comes down to like when we look at those animals that we perceive to be being trophy hunted for, be like a rhino, or you see the lion, and then you realize like
Fuck those
they're
people,
they're just
man.
like a lion is just fucking chilling out in the sun, working on its tan, just wanting to relax and shoot the shit up until it's like ready to attack a fucking zebra. But other than that, it's not like they're super active throughout the day. I
Yeah.
mean, this is based upon my knowledge of watching Planet Earth documentaries. So who knows?
I had a biology professor who was a renowned worldwide lion expert. Fun fact,
Really?
at the University of Minnesota.
That's actually really
So
that's
if
fucking
you want,
cool.
if you,
I'm
I'll
intrigued.
see if Craig,
Send me his link.
look up Craig Packer. This man's out there. No, it was like he was my biology professor for like a one of my like very early biology classes at the
Oh,
University of Minnesota, and I was like evolution and ecology, and then like maybe like a year later or however long later, we're watching like a big cat week on like National Geographic Channel or something
yeah.
like that, and they're doing like a lion episode,
No
and all
shit.
of a sudden like this car rolls up, like, oh yeah, like to in order to like better understand like the habits of these creatures, we called in like renowned lion expert, and then like this guy gets out of the car, I'm like, that's my fucking professor.
No
I'm like,
way.
it's the middle of Africa, I don't know where it was, but it was just so cool to see. I was like, oh, that's like dude that like yeah, it was really crazy.
Wow. Oh my gosh,
Fun fact.
that is really
Yeah,
cool.
Craig Packer. If you look him up, you'll probably
Okay.
get something. So
I might have
yeah.
to check that out. Though I always love those types of shows.
Mm-hmm.
They're absolutely fascinating. Just to look at those different types of creatures, like how we were talking about like the fish thing earlier, like watching this great white shark swim atop the ocean surface, and then did you see the orca that just came and annihilated this thing?
Dude, orcas are. If you didn't already think that orcas were like the wolves of the sea after they attacked that boat,
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was the thing that
yeah.
happened too not too
Oh
long
man,
ago.
no, they are smart and they are terrifying.
Yeah.
They're terrifying creatures.
I mean, just to think of like if you were to poll the vast majority of people and you were to say what's the most like terrifying creature that like lives in the sea, I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of people would be like, oh, a shark, naturally,
Mhm.
right? I,
They're
I would
prevalent
imagine.
too. You know what I mean?
Exactly. They're
The
just top of
experiences.
mind.
Yeah.
Jaws. Oh, you think about that, but like, oh,
Yeah.
you think of Orca and you think Free Willy,
Yeah.
and then up until, or you see maybe like the
Like
show
SeaWorld, San Diego.
SeaWorld, yeah, you
Yeah.
think of doing like the acrobatic shit. And then I think that movie like Blackfish, and then that kind of turned a little bit where you understand I don't know, how intelligent, hyper intelligent those animals are, and like seeing them more like in their natural habitat. But then let alone now you're seeing these videos, or at least I am, because my Instagram feed is apparently just populated with just
Classic.
like animals doing animal shit.
Let's get more orca videos on Instagram. We're gonna
Oh,
petition for it.
yes, absolutely. I wanted like, dude, I follow this page, Nature is Metal.
Oh yeah, so do I.
Have
Yeah,
you
yeah.
seen that one?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's savage. If you guys don't follow it, go check it out. Nature is Metal.
If you know,
You don't think so? I'm
no,
hyping it up.
I do like
Okay.
it. I do like it. But if you're easily like
Yeah, okay, good
you're
disclaimer.
easily like squeamish, or if you're like, I prefer to think of animals as lovely and cuddly, don't follow this page. You will look at everything differently.
Well, which I
Like
think is
squirrels are just like cannibalizing each other. I'm like,
nuts.
"Ugh,
Yeah.
oh god.
Which is so funny to like
Yeah.
look at that, because you're like, oh, that's actually what it's like
They don't
out
give a
there.
shit, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that if all this were to go away, our nice, cozy, comfortable, no show sock
Yeah.
wearing, I'm gonna, go to work in my car, air conditioned room to whatever. It's like, oh, if all that were to go away, that's what we'd have to deal with. Like, it's just nuts. And that page,
Early humans that like built societies, but apart from that,
like,
they were on their own.
yeah, I mean, and like, what was the activity? Like, people weren't sitting around playing video games or anything like that. The activities that you participated in were like, you actually
it
had
was
to
all
hunt
for survival.
You
yeah.
legitimately hunted. Like, that was the shit that
Yeah.
you did.
Whether you were hunting or whether you were like storing food or whether you were like
You were doing
treating
crops.
everything or like getting water, like whatever you were doing, it was based on the survival of like the next week, the next day, the next month, the next year, whatever that was.
Yeah, which is just fascinating to think about how far removed we are from that. And I feel like out of touch a lot of us are in a way too. So then when you come across a page like that on Instagram,
Yeah,
you're like,
like, oh my God.
holy shit. Like, that's what it's like out there. Like, I'm fucked. Like, we ain't doing nothing.
I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with that at all. Like, those different animals and creatures are just absolute savages. And you think they're, because what's the name when you is it anthropomorphize? Uh, you put on like human-like
Yeah, sure.
characteristics
Yep.
and
To an animal.
qualities
Yep. I
to an
get you.
animal.
Yep.
So you think the bear, all bears are cute and cuddly, and then, oh no, they're fucking savages.
They're actually horrifying.
Yeah, they're
Yep.
horrifying. Go watch The Revenant and see CGI bear tear the fuck out of
I
Leo. That's what it would be like.
Yeah. I will go on record saying this. Fuck chimpanzees.
Those are, yeah,
I'm not.
chimp empire.
I am not messing with like, and that's the thing, is like, this is something that's like I've always felt like I am not, and like yeah, chimpanzees are smart. All like these different ape like varieties, these different like monkey varieties, whatever, like are very intelligent. Like obviously, like they're somewhere in the line, and we were like we share a common ancestor with like these creatures. Very intelligent. Like they have opposable thumbs and shit.
Yep.
Like
Oh yeah, you see their hands.
they have the strength of like 6 people. They can literally rip my face off.
Dude, that's happened.
I'm saying like
That's
I'm not
literally
not
what
messing
I'm. That's
around with
literally
them.
what I'm looking up
I'm
right
not
now.
doing it. Like it's just I think and I like see so many photos of like chimps with people, and I'm like, yes, this chimp could be like the kindest, gentlest creature, and like be so amazing for like 7 years, and all of a sudden like one day just like, and I don't know. I think like in that scenario or like the scenario, it's a very famous one where it's like I think that this was not like a approved caretaker to this creature, and it was like a home, whatever it is. I'm not. Yeah, no. I'm not gonna. I'm not fucking
Wow.
with gyms.
If yeah, for anybody, we're talking about like the
Don't again. If you're squid,
again, yeah, 100%. But if you were to just Google images, like for anybody wondering, I just typed in chimp attack face. That's all I did was 3 words, clicked images, and then you'd be able to find
I'm not looking that up.
a wide assortment of people who have been mangled. And the thing is like you'll notice if and when you do, not saying you have to or should, again, if you're queasy or something like that, but just to see
Or have a good day today. Don't
like
look it up.
yeah, well, and then like one of them on the Nature is Metal page,
Yeah.
and we're just hyping them up. Yo, go Nature is Metal.
Yeah, apparently they sponsor us at this point.
There was like a little, like we all know like chimpanzees, big animals, right? Big animals. But there was like a little monkey, like one that you could just like sit on your lap. It would be almost like the size of Megan's dog. In a way, just like that. What 10 pounds? Like how much does?
It's like 15, 17.
15. Okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
either way, yeah, it's not a large animal.
Yeah.
And this monkey all of a sudden is just sitting on this dude's lap, and then just on a whim, this guy, and you can see the video, like his skin just gets. It was like a thing of, like you would a knife. That's what this monkey did to the top of this guy's head.
I might edit most of this out.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
either way, y'all,
Yeah.
don't mess with this. They're so strong.
Yeah.
That's the thing too. Is like
It's crazy.
These creatures are like half the size of us, but like they are so much stronger.
it is so
It's like,
funny
I
how
don't- Yeah.
humans are just so vulnerable.
Yeah.
We're so vulnerable.
That's a good way to put it. I'm not messing with chimps. Animal Kingdom is wild. Well,
No matter how much we try to think we're like the biggest badasses on the planet. Like you think Usain Bolt's fast, he's not fast.
the only thing that saves us is like the use of tools. The only
That's
thing.
pretty much it. Yeah. Like we just got a big brain and opposable
The
thumbs.
fact that we could develop weapons was like the only thing that
Pretty much. Pretty
you know,
much.
or like fences that keep things at whatever. You know what I mean? It's crazy to think about.
But again, to go back from that time in history where your only job as a person within your group that you were in was hunting, fishing, was cultivating crops and everything else. And then now I was just watching this video on the way over here, and it was John F. Kennedy, and it was from like the 60s, and it was talking about like high school fitness, and they showed like a montage of kids at that point going through like just monkey bars and rings and all this stuff, and talking about like, oh, we need to prioritize like health and fitness within high schools and create a population of individuals who prioritize their health and fitness, and to go from the hunter-gatherer kind of society. We had that not too long ago, and then now we've evolved to, I mean, just sitting around. Like how much screen time does the average person spend nowadays? It's like I think like 8, 10 hours a day, and you're like, what the fuck? You know, the only animal that you maybe come into contact with is your cat or your dog. Like we are so just far removed, and
I'm
like,
okay with not coming
I
into
mean,
contact with
it's
wolves, but
nuts.
that's me.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Actually, wolves are adorable,
you know,
but
but either way, it's just such a
yeah,
crate
yeah.
and just such a quick amount of time too. Like
Yeah.
how much time you get sucked into your phone, sucked into your
Well, I think
TV.
like what really did for me is like, and this is something that I don't have the most knowledge about. So again, feel free to rage in the comments or whatever. As long as you rate us 5 stars, I don't give a fuck. You can rage as much as you
Yeah,
want.
then go rage.
But I think that when I was a kid, I remember having like recess, right? 15 minutes, whatever, run along
That was all you
outside.
got was 15 minutes.
It could have been longer.
I was gonna say, I think we at least got a half
I was a
hour
child, so I
right
remember.
after lunch, and you get chicken patties.
Yeah. But like, and I just remember like as soon as I got to middle school, they're like, oh yeah, we had like 5 minutes maybe. I was like, why? Then as high school, it's like you didn't have anything. And like, yeah, you get older and like you can do different things. But it just felt like less and less priority was placed on physical education. And like, public school systems are drastically underfunded anyway.
Oh God.
God, it's just so fucking
I've
bad.
I've
Especially Minneapolis public school systems. Thanks, fucking Tim Walz.
so many
Anyways,
so many friends I have
yeah,
of teachers, and they are just completely burnt out. I mean, no support, no funding, and you're like, oh my goodness,
yeah.
like you just feel for them, just with the predicament that we're in. But
Well, and to your point, like school systems and I think educational boards at large like deprioritize physical education because it's all about like test scores. So it's like if they're
yeah,
not studying, they're not going to be achieving this, and it's like it's when you reward schools with funding or you reward schools with support based on like testing metrics, then of course you're going to need to like you as a school you're like we want to make sure we need this so we can get support for it.
it's so sick.
When there have been studies that come out that say like actual physical education is better for improving academic scores.
Not even academics, but then also you could talk about like mentally and emotionally the health and well-being of those,
Yeah.
of those children.
Well, and I mean, if you get 30 minutes to run around, you're probably going to perform better when you come back in because you're not going to be as like restless and pissed off. But anyway, that's beside the point. But like you're saying, it's like you're taking the emphasis out of physical education early. It's not even just like, oh yeah, adults don't do this. It's like, well, now kids aren't doing it because you're building this metric around performance, and you're not actually getting kids outside and engaged in activities. I've got like but and a lot of that then now falls on like the parents, and if the family is either absent, doesn't have the resources, right? Because like I think socioeconomic status is a big factor in terms of like doing things.
Yep.
Neighborhood that you're in, things like that too. But if the family doesn't prioritize health and wellness, then like their kid won't have any access to it unless they're in sports or something like that too. But then that's the family doing it. My cousin has 3 boys. I think they're all under the age of like 5. They were very, very young. And, she did like 1,000 hours outside of them last year or something like that. She has like a graph.
Oh.
She had like a little bit of like a circle graph. Shout out Dre if you're listening. And she did. She had like she was measuring hours with the kids outside for the whole year. I think they
that's
did
cool.
like 1,000 hours of outdoor activities. But again, if that's not what your family is like, you're not going to get that, and you're not going to experience that, and then you're going to grow up without that
Just
that fitness and wellness.
Vicious little circle. It's like why like what's the reason behind it? Like why again to take that out. That I know I've had that conversation many a time where, and just even the thought myself of if and when I do have kids, that I mean they're going to play some sport in some season. I could care less what it is, and that like they'll finish it out. But it's like, all right, get them involved in like activity like very early on, and like especially for like parents too who are like, oh my gosh, I don't have like time to work out or prioritize like my health or fitness. It's like bring your kid with you if you have the ability to, or just like if you set up at home, like that's such a great image for your child to see is that mom and dad are prioritizing like their health and fitness. Like what message is that sending of just you physically being there in the room, making it engaging, making it fun, incorporating them on in with you? Like go for a hike, strap them up to your back. I love seeing that shit. I saw a guy the other day though. He was walking around with a cat on his chest. So I guess you could also do it with your pets.
That's adorable.
As well.
Megan and I went for a walk last weekend. And yeah, we were like, you know what? Because like it's March right now, so it's still very like muddy outside. A lot of the times, like there's not like
Oh yeah, we went on a trail run yesterday. It was muddy as
yeah,
shit.
I assume. And so we were like, well, yeah, we wouldn't want to bring Murph the dog out especially because he's so short. He's very low to the ground
And white.
and he's very white, much like I am currently. Um, and so he would, he'd get really dirty. But we were like, hey, well, honestly, like he'd love just kind of being in like a backpack. So we were like looking at backpacks for him, like, oh, this is so exciting. But to your point, like even I mean, I don't know, like if you have young kids at home, and I feel like a common theme of this podcast is us, again, two men without kids,
Yeah.
saying, hey, here's our ideas how to do this. And we're not saying that like your job is easy. I think it's really important to know that like we're behind you 100%. But like also Kory and I literally have years and years of experience doing this and talking to people like you listening who have kids,
Yes.
who are, in their 30s, 40s, whatever. And so it's like, yeah, although we don't have that, and like we acknowledge that we don't have kids, and we're also in our like very early 30s, we still have a lot of experience, giving options, giving adjustments, giving like some ideas for you. So I would say, like, I don't know, yeah, even if you're cooking and you got kids in the house and you're able to throw them on your back, do some squats, right? Like hang out with them if you're feeling good, like moving with them, like dancing with them, like those are all activities you can do. That is movement, and that also like inspires them to like, if you keep doing that with them as they grow up, like they're going to be moving, like that's going to be their natural state, right?
And it's like getting them to like tune in to their bodies. You think about, if we go back to the educational side of things, like I remember all the time you just walk into the class, you'd sit down, and then it's just all heady, right? You're just learning an equation, you're reading a paragraph, you're reading another little section in the science textbook, you're figuring out geographically where the state of Kansas is, and it's you're just sitting there confined in your chair. You're not supposed to like wiggle around or move, make noises or whatever. And then that's where you're spending the vast majority of your day. And then if you're taking away physical education as one of the just one of those blocks during the day, and you're just going to cram everything else in with just very heady stuff, and they don't get that ability to, again, move their body. And if you don't prioritize sport or some extracurricular activity outside of it, I mean, yeah, it's no wonder kids just bouncing off the walls, or just engaging in maybe behaviors or demonstrating like emotions that could be like problematic. It's like, yeah, they're going fucking stir crazy. They need to do something, other than just try to ingest this material from the professor at the head of the class. Like, just in what way does that ever would that ever seem like a good idea? It just kind of baffles me a little bit. But to go to your point, if you get parents who can be a great example and can show children early stages, that fitness is fun and moving your body is fun and it's enjoyable and you can do it in a wide variety of ways and context, that's going to be so incredibly important. And that can be for the mom or dad that is really into hunting, and then all of a sudden you're out walking along the trail and you get out in nature and you're using your body in that way. Or if you're big into sports and you love playing basketball, bring them over to the court. They've got multiple different hoop levels. Get your kid going out there. Frisbee, you could go frisbee golf. There's so many beautiful courses in and around many states. I just did a post on our page just the other day, even like on days when you're feeling a little bit low.
Go follow the Instagram.
Go check it out. Yeah. But I've been feeling a little under the weather the last couple of days, had a like really high stress week, and just could tell that my body was, really run down. Also, quick note, again, prioritize your recovery just as much as you do your activity days. I had a train 5-6 days a week, like, and it gets really hard for some people that that taking the rest day is the hard thing to do. If you're at that stage, you're doing really well, I will say. Like, if taking the rest day is actually the hard thing to do, but you also got to make sure to take those rest days and don't necessarily push through on some of those occasions. So the other day, just wanted to get out for a walk and try to just move my body in a way that felt good, and that turned into some just fun things where I came across a amphitheater and was like, oh yeah, we'll just do some like single leg squats to just challenge my mobility. Ooh, like my balance. I found a skate park and tried to just balance on the rail a little bit, to do things that were kind of fun at that time. Or found a set of stairs, worked on a little bit mobility and some like lunges and whatnot, and just incorporating that into your day and showing your kids, showing your family, even if you're walking around with like your friends, like, oh yeah, let's just do this. I like to, if I'm on a walk, there's a high set of stairs or something like that, depending on who I'm with, I know they'll be a little bit more inclined to want to participate, but like, I'll race you to the top. And then bam, you're just up, and then it's fun. You're energized, your blood's flowing a little bit again, and you feel invigorated. It's like little things like that you can do in and throughout your day. Find those areas of opportunity if you do find yourself being like, I don't have time. It's so incredibly important. Those little wins and throughout the day can just like add up to just massive changes in the overall direction that you're taking your health and wellness.
Yeah, I mean, and again, have the kids see you do it. Drea, my cousin, again, like her son, like says, like, asked her about Orange Theory, and now he recognizes that as a place that she goes to get faster, get stronger. Like he recognizes that as a place that she goes, and he will talk with her about that. And he's like, probably 4 or 5 years old, whatever. How old? I can't remember how old he is, but in that range. And like that is a big thing, because if you get those kids identifying with that early on, like they're going to want to do those same things too. So, yeah. That's it. I think that's it. Kory, what are your last thoughts? I mean, you had some thoughts here. What is your last thoughts, buddy?
Yeah, I mean, I guess
we talked about a lot today.
Yeah.
A lot of weird stuff.
I would say just, I guess, kind of in summation there, right at the tail end, to kind of wrap up that little thought. I'm so grateful for the opportunities that my parents and my family presented myself with at an early age to be so readily engaged in various forms of activity. Like my parents, they signed me up for the YMCA like summer escape program, and that was just a summer program in which you drop off your kids for the day, and then we would do a variety of activities. So like shout out like YMCA or programs like that are really heavily invested in youth and prioritize getting outside, doing activities, going on adventures, like going to explore caves and just checking out all this incredible stuff. And to be very thankful and grateful to have family and friends also at that same age who prioritized different activities. Like my grandma, anytime we'd go over there, all of a sudden we'd be playing like croquet, a random little game, or like, hey, let's go for a walk and do something, And if you maybe don't have that, I guarantee there's going to be somebody in your life that you're going to be able to, turn to, look to, just to start off with something simple like, hey, let's just go on make a little habit of it. We'll go grab a coffee on Wednesday and we'll go for a little walk, and just start something there. But like the power of community that can have in changing the trajectory and the course of your life as it relates to health and fitness can be so incredibly impactful. Finding little areas of opportunity throughout your day, that one little degree change on that day with that behavior that you engage in just completely changes your whole course. It's like a ship. You're in the middle of the U.S. or the middle of the Pacific Ocean. If you go off by 1 degree on your course, you land in a completely different continent or something. So if you can find those little areas in your day that you can make that little change, it can just have a profound impact. What are your thoughts?
Well said. That was my thought. That was
that was it.
That was it, actually. It was like verbatim what I was going to say.
Nailed it.
So thank you for listening to the Average Bros Gym podcast, everybody. You can also find us on Instagram, social media, Twitter as well, or X, whatever the fuck, and Facebook. Average Bros Gym podcast. X. What is it? X. And then you can also email us at averagebrosgympodcast@gmail.com whenever you want.
Yeah.
Email us whatever you want. Sure. Yeah. You can, send us photos of your animals. Otherwise, team, we will see y'all again very soon. Thank you for listening. And have a happy St. Patrick's Day.
That's where it started.
That's where it started. Have a happy St. Patrick's Day. Drink responsibly. Honestly, the 0.0 Guinness is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. So pretty akin to the alcoholic version. And also, so there you go. Anyways, that's it. I'm just thinking about Guinness now. And we'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.